Yeah, man. Let's dive right into it, man, because my boy Joe Jordan, he was right. He was 100% right about the Western semifinals. I had the Denver Nuggets in 7. My boy JJ Joe Jordan had OKC in 7. First off, kudos to us both for predicting it to go 7 games. At least we both got that part right. We knew it was going to be a hard fought series, but OKC, as y'all see in the highlights, they came out with the victory in game 7, pulled it out. Now they advanced. They're currently playing the Timberwolves right now. I
Mm.
think the score last time I checked is 23-20 at the end of the first quarter in favor of the Timberwolves. But we're not gonna let that, you know what I'm saying, get in the way of what our predictions are actually gonna be before the game start. But we're gonna get to that in a little
Mhm.
bit. Before we get to that, is this the changing of the guards? We seen a lot of the old heads get eliminated, Joe, and we seen a lot of new faces, young talent entering the conference finals. So you think that series presented the changing of the guards, or you think the old heads still, they got something to say about it in the future?
I do think it's a changing of the guard, and I know since the Steph Curry Warriors, Steph Curry KD Warriors, they were the last team in the NBA to win back-to-back championships since 2018. Sorry, 2018. That's been a different champion every single year, and it's funny because Kawhi won, but we didn't expect Kawhi to go crazy in the era. Now when he went to the Clippers, they got high praise, right? They thought people thought they could have made a run, but then the Lakers win. But I don't think we thought LeBron would come back and win again the next year. We didn't think it would be a repeat. But when Giannis won, he's an up and coming star. Okay, he should take over. He haven't been at the second round since. Then eventually Jokic wins, right? And we like, oh, Jokic gonna get back, and then he hasn't been in the second round since. That's another thing. All these teams who won since the Warriors haven't got past the second round. But yes, it's a change in other guard, AJ. In my opinion, predicting it early. I'm gonna say it right now. In May 20th, 2025,
Mm.
this will be the first back-to-back champions we will see since 2017, 2018 Golden State Warriors. I'm calling it right now. And the
Wow.
reason why, because this. When you look at the nowadays NBA,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of switching of the stars. Guys going from team to team. A lot of trades, a lot of signings, different places. Contract up, they don't re-sign. You see that a lot nowadays. But the way OKC Thunder built this team, they built it from the ground up. Most of these guys on their team, they drafted these guys. And then they added veteran presence, guys like Alex Caruso. Then you got Hartenstein, who has some playoff experience, to just be a cherry on top of what they already had to help them get groomed into that NBA champion. Then you got the MVP. Do you know if the OKC Thunder win the championship, this will be the third time first time since Michael Jordan and Steph Curry to win Finals MVP as a Finals MVP and regular MVP in the same season. First time.
Mm.
Since Jordan and Steph Curry, we talking about elite category. Jordan, Steph Curry, Magic Johnson. Like guys like that. That's an elite category you'll be in. So I do think OKC is a scary team because they're young, they lack experience. We saw the Nuggets series, and then going forward, if they win a championship, curtains. Close the door. Show over. It's curtains. So I do think the change the guard. Steph Curry, out of all the always like Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, I don't see Jokic as like one of them old heads, right? But Steph Curry, LeBron, all that stuff. Out of all those guys, Steph Curry is the guy I can see winning another championship because I can see him getting a piece around. We saw how valuable Steph Curry is this playoffs. Once he got hurt, they just didn't. They look terrible. They're like one of the worst teams in the whole playoffs for real. But if they can add a piece, there are a lot of talks about Giannis stuff like that. If they can add a piece, I can see the Warriors potentially winning the championship. But LeBron, KD, those guys, I'm sorry, man. Just hang up your shoes on the top of on the wires and leave it. Because you're not winning the championship. But yeah, it's definitely a change in the ball.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, and I like how you the angle that you took because I wasn't gonna take the same angle. I'm looking at specifically this postseason and what I've seen this postseason. We looking at Ant eliminating LeBron. I know Steph didn't play, but Steph is on the Warriors.
Jimmy
So
Butler.
Steph, Jimmy, Draymond, getting him up out of there. We looking at the Pacers getting rid of the Bucks with Dame, and I know Giannis ain't quite an old head, but he old enough. He inching towards 30s, if not 30 already. You know what I mean? When you look at the top teams, at the top of their conferences right now between the Pacers and the Knicks, the Timberwolves and OKC, these are now becoming some of the best players in the league. We, I'm gonna touch on Denver in a little bit, probably a little bit with this next topic, just a touch. But like, man, is Jokic still the best player in the league? I'm
Mm.
not sure. Do we give that crown to SGA now because he knocked him out, especially given how SGA played in Game 7 compared to how Jokic played? I mean, Jokic looked like he got exposed here and there in this series. You know what I mean? Especially defensively. We harp on Luka's defense all the time. We don't talk enough about Jokic's defense. My goodness, it's abysmal. It's abysmal. But one thing I also want to point out is a lot of these older players, what I'm seeing is it's hard for them to get through a full season, let alone a full grueling playoff run, right? So like KD, he got hurt right before the start of the playoffs, and the Phoenix Suns didn't make the playoffs, didn't even make the play in. He didn't finish the season strong. LeBron actually had a nice little, couple of days off before the playoffs, had some time to rest. Then got into a grueling series with the Wolves, and yeah, he finished the series, but he came out of it, limping with a bad knee injury, right? Because he's banging with Julius Randle in the paint, which was a problem. Steph Curry, I know a lot of people. Again, we talked about this before. Steph Curry going down in game one against the Timberwolves, and a lot of people are like, what happens is injuries, this, that, and the third. But people forget he just came off of a grueling 7-game series with the Rockets where they were super physical with him, bumping him off his spots. They played him an insane amount of minutes in game 7. So game one, you trying to put your foot on the gas and there goes a hamstring. He's out for the series. It's like when I look at how this went down, even in series with OKC, since we're talking about that series specifically against Denver, when I look at how that series played out with MPJ MPJ playing through injury, when I look at Aaron Gordon playing through a messed up hamstring, when I look at how that series played out, especially in Aaron Gordon's case, Aaron Gordon went out on a play where OKC's youth was getting to him in a way. Like, OKC not giving up. Like, they down, I don't know how many points, like, what was it, 10, 15 points towards the end. Alex Caruso and them boys stripping the ball, and he going for a loose ball and come up on his hamstring. Now, Aaron Gordon's not an old guy, but you can tell, like, OKC, the youngest team in the NBA. So, like, them young guns is putting constant pressure on the ball. They hustling, they moving, they not giving up, they taking a lot of threes, they getting back on transition. And if you are an older team or you play old or anything like that, you up out of here. Look at how the Wolves play. Look at how the Pacers play. Look at how the Knicks play. You know what I mean? Look at how OKC play. These are, for the most part, fast-paced, up and down teams that'll play you 94 feet. And so that's how I'm kind of looking at it. I think the between Tyrese Halliburton, Anthony Edwards, SGA, and Brunson, you looking at 4 of the best players in the league, 4 of them probably in their prime, if not inching towards their prime. And I think that's just the direction that the league is headed. The old guys are on their way out. Even some of the guys that are not really old, but they're inching towards like the back end of their prime, are also kind of like making their way out. And the young guns is on the come up.
Now, I will say, Giannis I don't see Giannis doing anything with the Bucks. He would have to leave to get back in this conversation with championships. All right. But Jokic, on the other hand, I think the Nuggets are still set up. I think that's set up. I think the Nuggets still have opportunity to be back in the finals next year. And you look at what they had, the roster had this year. I had no expectation of them going far in the playoffs. I did not.
Mm,
They beat the Clippers, who I had the Clippers beating, and they pushed OKC to 7 games with this roster.
yeah.
Like let's be real. Like when you said you watched that game, the experience is overflowing over your screen. They just playing above their talent. They really are. Like they defense stepped up in the playoffs when they were abysmal the whole season for real. They fired Mike Malone. I feel like this coach did a really good job. They got rid of GM, which was an issue because they didn't put the right pieces around Jokic. So Jokic came out the best player and said, "We don't have the team to win a championship," which I love that he said. So you just put the right pieces around Jokic. Jokic is still good. Like I still think Jokic is the best player in the NBA. I get what you're saying as far as being exposed and stuff like that. My thing with Jokic is this: the type of like think about all the wide open threes these dudes miss. Like you got guys like Straw. You depending on MPJ with a messed up shoulder who can't hit a three to save his life. Only one game he had in this whole series that was really good. Westbrook, who shot terrible this series, had all the praise against the Clippers, but everybody got quiet when against the OKC Thunder. He was terrible.
Don't still say that too loud. Don't say that too loud. You know the Russell Westbrook fans, they come at you. They come at you for going there, Russ. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I told somebody, I said, listen, I think Russell Westbrook fans are worse than LeBron fans. How everybody try to put on LeBron fans, Russell Westbrook fans are wow. But
they don't play, bro. They don't play.
but yeah, like Westbrook, Struthers come in one day and then he has a good game. And you throw him in the game 7, he looks like who he looked like the whole year. You know, like Christian Brown, the 3-point shooter, he's probably the best 3-point shooter in game 7. So they don't have the right pieces around Jokic. And if they and AJ, if you the GM, who want to play with Jokic? Like Jokic is not a high usage player. When you look at the usage rate, he's not up in the top of the list. But yeah, he's still averaging a 10 assists a game. And he's a team, like he's willing passer. He will find you. And if you are a scorer like Jamal Murray, he'll let you cook. So I think the Nuggets aren't, I'm not gonna say fully changing the guard when you want to throw. If you want to throw Jokic in that power, I think Jokic is still in that mix. Giannis, if he wants a ring, you gotta leave Milwaukee. That ain't happening in Milwaukee. It ain't.
I think I agree with you on Giannis. Especially with the current situation they got with Dame right now, who is a part of that crowd for me of the changing of the guard. In the case of in the case of Jokic though, like you're right, they gotta build around Jokic, but we gotta look at the rest of the competition, bro. Like the competition not slowing down. I firmly believe that was the best matchup for the Wolves next round. If they were to play the Wolves, I was picking the Wolves to beat them over the Nuggets. Like I didn't, even though I had them going far, I didn't think they was going to win the championship this year. And so the way I look at the Denver Nuggets, I think they're a really solid team. But the Wolves, I think, are going to be better next year. OKC, with all this experience, especially if they win the championship, they're going to be better next year. We ain't even got to the Eastern Conference. If we talking about being a champion, not just winning the West, we haven't gotten to the Eastern Conference and the teams that's over there that have potential to get better as well. So we're gonna see what they do. Right, you got a young and up and coming Houston team that's on the rise.
So trying to get Giannis.
Right, exactly, bro. So we gonna see. And like the Mavs may be on the come up too if they get the young gun from Duke. So Cooper Flag. So that's. I'm not completely counting them out by any stretch. It's Jokic. But at the same time, I am looking like y'all gonna have to do something because they can't keep the same exact team. Like you said, they can't keep the same exact team and expect to get there because as great as he is, bro, these other teams are better. They just better at this point. OKC, Minnesota, these teams are better than Denver at this point. So that's how I'm thinking of. The younger teams are looking like the better teams right now. The teams with the younger stars are looking like the better teams.
Yeah, because a lot of these younger teams, they've been built up. You know what I mean?
Right. Draft picks and things of that nature.
They've been they core guys have been drafted. Now Houston, they went and got Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks. But like you look at the other guys, they've been drafted to this organization. You look at OKC, you know what I mean? So even Memphis, I know Memphis not in the conversation, but even their team was built through the draft. You know what I mean? So like, but all the old heads, they came from that era where they just hop like the Clippers, bunch of guys from different organizations, right? Bunch of guys from different organizations. So I'm with you on that, but for the Nuggets to stay relevant, I'm with you. Stay relevant. They gotta make changes to their roster. You have to.
Yep.
But Jokic the best player though.
Yep. I agree.
But hey, there's a game on right now.
If she,
What?
my bad for interrupting. If SGA win the championship, we got to revisit that conversation. In my opinion, as far as Jokic being the best player in the world.
Best player. Oof.
Yes,
I'm with
it's a
you.
conversation I'd be willing to revisit.
I'm with you.
We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that.
I'm with you because OKC did not win a game when SGA had his worst game. The Nuggets did. The Nuggets won when Jokic was not good. You know, and SGA, he was a spark.
Hey, I'm not trying to shade Jokic, but knock off OKC and win the championship. I think he in the mix too.
Mm-hmm.
I think as a two-way player, two-way guard with the Timberwolves, and he in that combo too. Like you don't just stay at the top just to stay at the top for me. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but like I said,
we outplay Shea. You know,
I'm saying who's MVP.
Well, we don't have to go back to it. We can go to it now because the Western Conference Finals is starting right